Alright, good afternoon, people. I decided to take the scenic route to work today. People have been complaining that my videos have been boring. So let's go through campus today. Here we are in the middle of the University of Maryland campus, College Park, otherwise known as State College of New Jersey Central, Southern, I should say. Come on, don't stop. Please go across the street. Thank you. You see me stop, please cross. Genius people. Be proud to have them as new admissions. See? I have to cut the damn thing anyway. I mean, it's ridiculous. I can't record 5 minutes worth of video without some shit when I'm riding. It's like these stupid girls stood there at the intersection, at the crosswalk, talking on their phone. I'm stopping to let them cross the street. There's a state law in Maryland. Yeah, fuck it, we're gonna put it up anyway. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, you know. And they're wait until I come to a complete fucking stop to even begin to cross the street, which is one of my major mine. That was nice. Pet peeves. People who can't get the hell out of the way, you know. Like this girl. She had to drive up to the stop sign and then stop and then go through the intersection. She was sitting there blocking the road for 5 minutes and then went to the stop sign and stopped. Oh, God damn. Get the hell out of the way. Thank you. So that was a mildly unpleasant experience. Which I guess brings me back to other mildly unpleasant issues, like the fact that based upon my earlier work, I now have two trolls, and one of them is really an internet stalker. I mean, at least one of them is stalking me on one site, and the other one is stalking like through Google, which is serious stalking. But I guess, you know, that's just the price of fame. And, alright, Mr. Chair Guy. And, so let's not let a ride become bogged down in trolling. But I would like to talk about one thing. That they have brought up that I would like to address seriously. It has been mentioned that I could have bought like a new FZ9 or whatever for the price of what I paid for this bike, and that I demonstrate that I shouldn't be paid attention to because I bought a bike that was in less than stellar condition when it was in less than stellar condition when I bought it. Let's put it that way. Just be done with it. Okay. Here's my thing. Now, I could go into the whole rationale of how the purchase happened, why I decided to buy this bike, why the purchase, this particular bike was bought, how this turned out to be a dog shit deal in a way, yet still okay in other ways. But I think I've already done that in the videos that the guy is commenting on. Likewise, I've already talked about my opinions of, say, the 899 Panigale, not to mention my opinion of the 899 Panigale compared to my bike. Whether it was in good condition or bad condition, I've already had a discussion on my other videos. The point is that this particular troll doesn't care about any of my opinions. All he cares about is his own opinions. And he's just using me as a sounding board to voice his opinions. He's essentially trying to force his opinions down my internet throat, so to speak. Which is nothing less than internet bullying. By repeatedly and obnoxiously, after having been told repeatedly that I don't really care about what your opinion is, I don't care what you have to say about what I've said, I have already said what I have to say, and that's all there is to it, and it's up to you at this point to understand that. Okay? That's the real problem, is he just won't. It's like he just ignores it all. Okay? He ignores anybody else's opinion except his own. And now I'm not the world's best for respecting other people's opinion, but I certainly don't just dismiss it. If it makes sense, if it has elements of truth, reason, and logic to it, you know, and I think it's not just that it has some truth, it has some reason, it has some logic. If it actually does make sense, if it's honest and it's logical, I'll admit that. You know, I will say, hey, you know, what you're saying makes sense and should be respected, you know, as for what you're saying. This guy won't, okay? He just refuses to accept anything except his opinion. His and only his opinion is what matters. You can say something which is directly contrary to his opinion, and it would be 100% factual. He doesn't care. As long as she's playing around on her phone, I can go in front of her. So the point is, he has happened to have found a forum that tolerates his nonsense. Which is not, and I'll just go ahead and say this, not his own work environment, which, being a media person, he could have, you know, his own website on his own server, on his own corporate server, full public admission, but he chooses to haunt other publications, websites, and forums. And I won't name the guy's name. I'm not going to, you know, out him, but I'll just stick to the facts, okay? And the facts are, he's spent a good couple of months now hounding me on another site because he doesn't like what I say. He just doesn't like it, and it's not even really that. It's not only does he not like what I say, he wants me to say what he wants me to say, and he wants me to not say what he doesn't want me to say. He doesn't respect my individuality as a person on the internet. That's essentially the point here. That's first degree bullying. I mean, I would say actually second degree bullying. Internet bullying. Hounding a person until they either do what you want them to do or they don't do what you don't want them to do is plain and simply assault. It's internet assault. Okay? There's no way around that. Oh, I guess the detour's up there. We're gonna go here. Plain and simply, it's internet assault. And there's no way around that. So, I would say this is one of the more blatant cases of it. Although I have to give the website in question some kudos because they let the guy's nonsense stay up on their site. Now, you would think that that means that they're actually helping him. No, what they're doing is allowing the world at large to see just what kind of fucking asshole this guy is. And if he wants to put his name there, hey, that's even better. If he wants to say, okay, this is my name and this is where I work, that's even better. Like I said, because I'm not a complete douchebag like he is, I'm not going to tell you where to go find it, you know, who he is, where he works, what he works for, all this kind of nonsense, which I could easily do. No, I'm just going to post my own video on my own YouTube channel, and we'll let him deal with that when it's seen, which it will be, and when people realize it, which they will eventually. So, you know, it's one of those things. In life, you got to be careful about what you do because you never know when it's going to come back to haunt you. So fine, you want to be a troll, then be a troll, okay? Just don't complain when people catch you at it and call you on it. And when everybody in the world knows what the fuck you're all about, especially when it's your profession to get on the internet and write stuff. Okay? I used to date a girl that lived on the other side of that bridge. She was a nice young lady. Fortunately, at that period of time, we weren't really all that sure about who we wanted to date. Let's put it that way. So I had to go let her chase her real love interest. Ah, the days of youth. Nothing like it. Alright, so how are we going to get where I'm trying to go in a way that makes sense? Oh my, that was nice. You know, like young and firm. Even if it's really young. Now, you said, you put a camera in your head, man, it's going to record stuff that you not necessarily want everyone to hear, unless you're going to go through and edit everything that you say, you know, which is a little bit ridiculous. So the point being that following a guy from Virginia in a truck through the park, Jesus Christ. The point being that this guy is insistent on essentially regurgitating the Ducati marketing line about the Panigale 899, not even the 1199, but the 899. Okay. Now you got to understand that the 899 and the 1199 are two very similar bikes, except one is an all-out sport bike, super bike, and the other one is just a neutered version of the first. So this has created a dilemma with Ducati. Because there's no racing class for the Panigale 899, so there's no racing raison d'etre for the 899. The 899 exists solely to be a neutered version of the 1199. That's how it was introduced. And essentially all the marketing for the bike is centered on that. Yeah, I mean, you can't avoid it. It produces 2/3 of the peak horsepower and 2/3 of the peak torque. I think the 1199 is up there to 90 range, 90s, high 90s. God damn, this guy's slow. Let's see. I don't know if I really want to go all that way. See, if you put your turn signal on earlier, you might not have had that issue. That's a little bit too far west. But I don't want to go down 16th Street either. That's going to be a nightmare. So, all right, so we came over here, and we could have been here 10 minutes ago, but that's okay. So, so the whole point that I'm having to make here is the last month or so I've been wasting time dealing with a textbook fucking troll and textbook stalking on the internet from a guy whose job is to be ostensibly, if he's to believe, is to be a internet writer and senior editor at a somewhat significant motorcycling publication. Okay? Somewhat significant motorcycling publication. Obviously not significant enough, because he obviously has too much time on his hands. So the point being that he's brought up a direct challenge to my reasoning and logic in buying this bike instead of a FZ9 or a Panigale 899 or some middleweight, or quote unquote middleweight. Now the 900 is called a middleweight. Okay. Wasn't long ago that Kawasaki and Honda and others were making 800s and 900s as their top of the line bikes. Then they came out with the 1200 class. Ooh, now see, that was win. All win and nothing but win. And they came out with the 1200 class, and then the leader bike class, which became the super bike class. If you wanted to talk about super bikes, they've had 1100s and 1200s, 1300s, many years before this, quote unquote super bike class came out. So Kawasaki essentially had the GPZ 1100, and that was, back in the 80s. And then they had a ZZR this, and ZZR 900 that, ZZR 1200 this, ZZR 1100 this, and that and the other. When my bike was brought to market, it was, I think they had the ZZR 1400 at the time, which was the fastest bike you could buy. It was literally the fastest sport bike you could buy. Or actually, it was a sport tour. It wasn't even a sport bike. And then the Busa came out and usurped it. But you want to talk about super bikes? Technically, I would say you can't really, it's a marketing gimmick to call a leader bike a super bike. Because it's obviously down on displacement and power compared to the bikes that were out that were obviously much more powerful. Listen to me, this redundancy is my middle name. So essentially, what you have to see is that the 900 is a middleweight. It's saying it's a middleweight. In my opinion, I personally don't agree it's a middleweight. I think it's a light heavyweight. It's 900 cc. If you were talking about like the ZX-12R or 1300 even as the top weight class. Jeez, that thing actually threw me up on my chair. Then how is a 900 a middleweight? A middleweight is a 600, 750. 900cc is, they didn't come out with the 900cc as a middleweight. They came out with the 900cc because they didn't want to come out with a 600 or 750. They wanted a 900. Okay, and so it's disingenuous to claim that they don't care about displacement. It's disingenuous for them to produce the 1199 and say they don't care about performance and outright performance. I mean, literally, it's a 1200. It's not a liter bike. It's a 1200. Okay. It's disingenuous for Ducati to make all these claims and then claim that they're making the 899 for people who want a sensible, moderate, middleweight sport bike. No, they're making it for people who don't think they can handle the 1199, who think the 1199 is too ragged, too cutting edge, too manly. Honestly, I mean, seriously, it has to be pretty much said that way. Especially considering the part that I'm going to say yet again for the 999,000th time. I'll get to it in a minute. I want to finish this point. That you have a distinct reduction in power with the same chassis, except they put slightly cheaper components in it, so they don't have the single-sided swing arm. It has a standard double-sided aluminum suppressed swing arm. It doesn't have the magnesium wheels. It has aluminum wheels, forged aluminum wheels. It doesn't have the titanium exhaust. It doesn't have a lot of the expensive go-fast bits that are in the Panigale S even, not to mention the R model, the $26,000 R model, okay? Not to mention the Super Leggero, which is the $65,000 model, okay? All of which have incremental micro changes in weight, but somewhat significant, 7, 8, 10 horsepower differences in power. I don't have a tolerance for all these bullshit stop signs, so we're taking apart. I'm sorry, it's just how it's going to be. And you just got to understand in the long run. Oh fuck! I don't know where this has a way out. I guess it does, but probably not. Watch, it's one way or something stupid down here. Okay. So, I've never actually been through this particular part. Look at this guy. God knows what the hell he's doing over there, but he's doing something. See, no, it goes right to the school. What I was afraid of is that you couldn't actually get over there. And now we gotta go through this glass and shit infested back part. But we will undoubtedly get a nail. Alright, so my point is, damn, this car right here, right? Mr. Double Park shithead. I'm gonna go through here, buddy. You can go through there. And then you're good. Okay. The point being that you gotta have a option that says, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna buy a moderate bike. I'm gonna buy a baseline Ducati, and I can see this whole argument. I can see doing that, but you don't need to downgrade the displacement to do that. My point is, it's ridiculous to come out with a smaller engine to go in the same size bike. That's just ridiculous. That's incredibly stupid. Now you're driving up the cost because you have all this different tooling and crap, and different design, different testing. And to me, the $899 makes absolutely no sense. It's almost the same price as a Panigale S, but it has significantly less power. You don't need to make a whole new bike, a whole new engine, I'm sorry. Well, it's not a whole new engine, but it's de-stroked. Oh, we're not gonna make this. fuck it. I'm not going to be the dick who backs up. I forgot where that was. Got carried away, forgot what I was doing. So, you don't have to, come out with an $899 engine to do something which you could do easily by just detuning the 1200 engine. And then you would have a detuned 1200 engine that could be a good basis for people who want to buy into the Ducati and then up-tune it, right? No, that can't be done. That doesn't make any sense. Let's come out with a whole freaking different engine. Now, like I said, it's not a whole, it's just a redesigned engine that's basically using a lot of the same parts, but it's just a redesign, okay, to reduce the stroke. So now Ducati is left with, okay, we've done this, now what would we do with it? How are we going to actually sell it? And they found out that a lot of people put the pigtail on and bought it, okay, and said, I'm so glad I didn't buy into the whole displacement thing. Right? I don't have to talk about how big my dick is. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, you know, I don't need the most powerful bike in the market. Blah, blah, blah. The Ducati S is not the most powerful bike on the market. So, A, number one. Second, the only people who believe that it has something to do with your penis size are people that talk about how other people buy motorcycles because it's makeup for the size of their penis. This is where you get into some dangerous ass territory right here. Is people talking bullshit and they're so drunk on their own shit that they believe that it makes sense. Nobody buys a bike that I know of to make up for the size of their penis. Okay, maybe that's why you would buy a bike to make up for the size of your penis, but that doesn't mean that's why I buy it. The thing is, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I say. All that matters is what this guy thinks about me or whatever, because that's all that matters to him. Now, this is the personality of a legitimate psychopath, okay? He doesn't care what other people think or what other people are really like. All he cares about is what he thinks about them and what he believes that they're like. So, here we are, and I'm going to say this, as long as you keep dealing with people like that, you can expect to keep getting treated like shit by them, right? And that's, I think that's something we all are aware of at some point. You keep coming back to the shoe, don't be surprised when the shoe kicks you again. So, like I said again, my channel, my comments, my site, this is how it's going to be, okay? I got to make sure this damn thing doesn't drop the file here when I keep talking. I've been talking for a while already.